Hey everyone, Silver Band here. Long time no see, am I right? It's been almost 2 months since I promised an updated layout tour. I meant to have gotten it out earlier, but I've been busy over the last 2 months. Like, really busy. But I finally managed to clear up some time to get this video made. And considering it'll most likely be out by Christmas, it's a seasonally appropriate time to tell you how thankful I am to you, my subscribers. 10,000 subscribers is a huge milestone for the channel. It couldn't have gotten this far without your continued support, so thank you. Now with all that being said, let's go see the layout. The layout itself is more or less the same as you've seen in my previous tour, except with one big change. I took advantage of some additional space in the basement and expanded it lengthwise by 1.5 feet, leaving the table space at 9.5 feet long by 16 feet wide. The most noticeable change on the original table would be the removal of the hillside on the layout's right side. The reason for this was to connect the new outer loop that led from the docks, and to expand the track radius to accommodate engines with longer wheelbases. There was originally going to be a section of narrow gauge track running right next to the outer loop, but I decided to remove it because I didn't think it looked good at all. Once I laid down the track for the new loop, I decided to add 2 new locations that would be great for future stories. By the tunnel would be a quarry, and further down would be a scrapyard. I used industrial putty to create a rock face, then painted it gray. After spreading and gluing down the ballast and grass, I added this quarry building. The process for building the scrapyards was somewhat similar. I used a different color ballast for that grimy industrial look. I had some spare locomotive shells and rolling stock that I painted a rust color to add to the scene. The red light in the smelter shed was a really nice touch. The surrounding fence was airbrushed over with weathering powder, then sprayed with a sealer. I'm really proud of how this scrapyard came out. Right next to the scrapyards, and still keeping with the British theming, I put in a football pitch with a red versus blue team playing a match. The crowd seems to be enjoying it, and if they're hungry, they could grab something from this food trailer. As we head near the docks, you'll notice a small crossing leading from 2 industrial roads, one leading to the warehouses from before, and one to the dock area. The scene is still busy as usual, with some added buildings, vehicles, cargo, people, and whatnot. Cranky's still there, and so is Big Mickey, and the tugs as well. The 3 warehouses have been replaced with these 3 fishing net lofts here, but the fish seller still remains. The lighthouse had to be moved to make way for the new track, but he still shines his light. The area where Miss Jenny keeps all of her construction vehicles is unchanged, except with the addition of an industrial shed for Jack and his friends to share. And Darcy's there too. They didn't make much for her from Big World Big Adventures that I could use, so I'll have to settle with the all engines go version. Ascending the hill, the farmers are still there, tending to their livestock. The windmill still turns as always. Although it looks as though Terrence's field has given way to a colliery. Not to worry, there's Terrence right there, taking residence in the farmer's Dutch barn. The main street below looks a bit different too, with added cars and buildings. Ah, there's Knapford Station, standing proud as ever, and just as busy as ever too. Look at all those passengers. Across the layout, there's a smaller station, and thanks to the extension, there's just enough space for a roundabout and additional parking. Here's a familiar sight. It's Thomas and all his friends gathered together at the sheds after a hard day's work. The haunted mansion still looms right beside them, Still as gloomy as ever, with a few added tidbits. This old German building's still here, tucked out of the way. We can also see some sort of business set up here, although I'm not sure what they make or do. And it all ends here by a grassy section of land with a mysterious stone circle. As I said before, the rest of the layout is very much the same as my previous tour. I don't intend on making another big extension like this one again because, as much as I would like to, I don't have the space to do so. Although I might rearrange or add some additional buildings or scenery in the future. It all depends on what I think would look good. I suppose the next big step would be to add more lights to some of the buildings and stations. And that will finish up this layout tour. I know it wasn't as long compared to the last one since the majority of it is unchanged, but I still wanted to show my appreciation to you and thank you again for getting the channel to over 10,000 subscribers. I still have plans for the 4th summer of Thomas and the Rail tours, as well as other videos too, and I'll let you know once it comes out. Until then, I'll see you next time.